Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we need to talk about multiple major storms that are going to move in through the western United States over the next 10 days, many of which are going to make their way into the central and eastern United States as well, bringing a multitude of impacts to the entire United States. Now, before we get into things, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you think we will have any massive snowstorms out west during this kind of stormy period we're going to be dealing with? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you know, which one do you think it will end up being, or like what time frame do you think it'll end up being within there? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now here is the total snowfall throughout the entire season so far. As you can see, we've already had a lot out west, especially for the Rockies, and then moving into a little bit of North Dakota and South Dakota as well. We've had plenty of snowfall. Those pinks are going to be 6 to 12 inches of snowfall, and then those magentas are going to be 12 to 36 inches of snowfall. So we've already had feet of snow for a lot of these regions, and we could nearly double it in some spots. Here is our first storm moving onshore, and it's already snowing and raining with this one, by the way. I took a look at some current radar imagery. I have so much to show you guys in today's video that I didn't even decide to include the current stuff going on because there's so much to go over already. This one might already go pretty late unless I move fast through it. This is 2 a.m. last night, so this is moving a little bit back. We've had snowfall going on throughout the mountainous regions of California and a lot of rainfall in surrounding regions as well. But by the time we reach this afternoon, a lot of that's going to move into Nevada, southern Oregon as well. And it's going to weaken a bit until it reaches the Rockies, because by the time we reach 2 a.m. on Tuesday, or kind of tonight, we're going to see a lot of that snowfall transfer over to eastern Nevada, a lot of Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming as well for a lot of these regions. And by the time we reach the middle of the day on Tuesday, we actually begin to get quite a bit of snowfall intensifying here. You can see a lot of that heavy snowfall is ongoing for Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, and we see another storm system moving out west. You can see in the Pacific Ocean heading towards the Pacific Northwest. We have a lot of precipitation out there. We're going to have to see what happens with that one in just a moment. As you can see, by the time we're reaching about 2 a.m. on Wednesday, and that's going to be October 20th, you can see a lot of that snow is tapering off for Wyoming. It's still there, but it's not quite as heavy. We see some of that for South Dakota and Nebraska as well. But look at that, another storm system moving onshore to the Pacific Northwest. A lot of snowfall going on for some portions of California, and plenty of rainfall going on for California and Oregon by this point. And by the time we reach 2 p.m. on Wednesday or so, we could see plenty of precipitation for the Northwest. But this storm really just heads northward towards Canada, and it's not really going to bring too many impacts to the United States because of that curvature back to the north. And we can see that snowfall is really tapering off by this point for the Dakotas. Here's the total snowfall for that first snowstorm. And as you can see, if you're anywhere in the grays or the blues, you're at anywhere from about a dusting to about 6 inches of snowfall. If you're anywhere in the purples, you're at 6 to 10 inches of snowfall. Anywhere in the pinks are going to be 10 to 20 inches of snowfall. And you can see those pastels there for portions of Wyoming. That's where you're at 20 inches plus. So even though this storm isn't a major low pressure system by any means, it still manages to bring nearly 2 feet of snowfall potentially for some regions. So I think even if it's not a major storm, it will be a major snowstorm. Now, what we're going to do in a moment is we're going to move on because there's still actually a handful of storms in the upcoming next 10 days to take a look at. All right, now here we are taking a look at approximately 6 a.m. here on Thursday, October 21st. As you can see, there is some rainfall for California. We have another storm system taking almost an identical track to that previous one that moved up into Canada. And as you can see, this one actually ends up, kind of non-surprisingly here, moving mostly up into Canada. We see a lot of snowfall up there, but we have a 998 millibar low pressure center up there in Canada. We do have some rainfall moving onshore to Oregon and Washington as well as California. This is during a period where we have a positive PNA, which brings very warm temperatures out west, and I think that's why we're not seeing any snowfall. Because this is approximately 5 a.m. on Friday, October 22nd, so technically this should be cold enough to bring snowfall, but we have warmer than normal conditions by this point for the west and very cold conditions out east. But there is a period that we're expecting to have some below normal temperatures back in the west, and we do expect a massive snowstorm at some point during this video that we're going to take a look at. This, as you can see, by the time we reach about 11 a.m., eventually does bring some snowfall to Oregon, California, and Washington, but it's by no means heavy or widespread at all. And that storm eventually moves up further into Canada, really not bringing much snowfall at all at any point, as you can see by 6 a.m. or sorry, 2 a.m. here on Saturday, October 23rd. And by the time we reach 2 a.m. on Sunday, October 24th, we can see that another storm system is moving onshore to the northwest, but this one seems to maybe be a little bit colder. There definitely is a trough associated with this one offshore, and this one seems to have the most potential to be something very major in the entire model run that I've taken a look at here. We can see some snowfall already for portions of Washington, Oregon, California, Idaho by this point. And by the time we reach about 8 p.m. on Sunday, October 24th, you can see it's a 995 millibar low pressure center offshore of Washington and Oregon. Again, it has a trough associated with it, and we see heavy snowfall there for the mountainous regions of California. Also, some regions there in Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. It's not very widespread yet, so we'll have to see if that ends up happening. But in a moment, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to go ahead and move on towards 2 p.m. on Monday, October 25th, and beyond, when this is going to become a massive snowstorm, potentially bigger than that one we had about a week ago. As you can see already, by the time we're reaching about 2 p.m. here on Monday, October 25th, heavy snowfall is developing for California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, not Montana, actually, Wyoming and Utah have some sporadic snowfall in there. And I think the difference here is that, first off, we're seeing a very strong low pressure center, a 980 millibar low pressure center over Oregon. But not only that, we have a trough moving onshore as well. So this one is deepening with some very, very cold temperatures right behind it. And that's going to allow for this one to likely become a very strong snowstorm if it does occur this way. Now, by the time we reach about 2 a.m. here on Tuesday, October 26th, you can see heavy snowfall all the way from California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah. You name it, they're receiving heavy snowfall by this point. And even by 2 p.m. on Tuesday here, we still see kind of scattered about heavy snowfall ongoing for a lot of these regions. Again, similar states throughout the Rockies and the West Coast, the mountain ranges of the West Coast, seeing heavy snowfall still by 2 p.m. on October 26th. Now, this all kind of tapers off by the time we reach 2 p.m. on Wednesday, so the only thing we have going for us is this isn't going to be an insanely long-lived storm if it does play out this way. It's actually going to move through quite quickly. That doesn't mean the snowfall won't be extremely heavy, but it's not going to last 3 or 4 days like that snowstorm a week ago. That's when you can get major blizzards, when they horseshoe around these western states, because that just extends the period when you're seeing heavy snowfall to insane amounts of time. But yeah, 2 p.m. on Wednesday, we still have some snow showers for the Rockies here and some rainfall moving onshore to the northwest, where another storm is about to move onshore. We can't even get that far out, but storminess looks to continue throughout the end of October and maybe even into November. But we have some snow showers tapering off after that very heavy snowfall. Let's take a look at that total snowfall here through the entire model run. And as you can see, I mean, inches and inches of snowfall. Again, blues and grays are going to be anywhere basically under 6 inches of snowfall. The purples is going to be 6 to 10. Pinks is going to end up being 10 to 20. And then those pastel blues or turquoise colors are going to be 20 to about 36 inches of snowfall. And those pastel pinks, and I want to point out where I'm seeing those because they're kind of hard to differentiate from those normal pinks. I see some of that going on for the mountainous regions of California, some of those mountain peaks there in the Cascades, and then also the mountain peaks in Utah and Wyoming as well. That is where we're at 36 to 48 inches plus in those pastel pinks and purple shades. That is extreme amounts of snowfall for a 10-day period. And if these storms happen back to back like this, it's not going to be too far-fetched. Now, some interesting things to note, because I didn't feature any of the storms in the east because there's so much intense weather expected out west. We do expect quite a bit of rainfall in the east, 2 inches plus potentially for the Great Lakes regions, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall there for the northeast, and some of the southeast and even this, kind of central eastern United States. Pretty much we're going to see a lot of rainfall over the next 10 days for a lot of the eastern United States, 1 inch plus in a lot of regions, especially the oranges and reds, and even potentially, according to this model, the European model, some snowfall, some of our first snowfall for the northeastern United States, as you can see, potentially up to 1 inch or 2 inches of snowfall. So 1 to 2 inches of snowfall generally possible for some of the Adirondacks and the White Mountains there as well. And maybe even scattered about some other mountaintops in the New England and northeastern states. Super interesting. For today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6 because we talked about some long range storms and some short range storms. We're very confident in the short range ones. We're not so confident in the long range ones. So I took the mean average and we're at a 4 out of 6. For today's comment of the day, I featured the first snowstorm that I showed on this video in yesterday's video, and I asked you guys how much snowfall do you think is the maximum, and James Marr said, I believe an isolated spot of 20 inches plus in the higher elevations is possible. Feel better soon. I was not feeling good yesterday and the days before, but today I actually feel a lot better, so thanks for the good wishes, guys. I appreciate it so much. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Larry LePan, Mandy Birchfield, and Patrick Strickland as well. I would also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kudalesa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Cindy Klein, Alan Goodmaben, Bill Dallas, Gary's, John Khaleesi, Dwight Phelan, Stephen Crenenthal, and Thomas D. Barr as well. If you'd like to join this patron extra today, you can do so by joining our very awesome Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. I would also thank our channel members here, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. You can join this next to the subscribe button down below if you are interested in joining. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and as always, subscribe for more weather-related content. I will see you guys in the next video.